Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
I'm Jen.
And today was supposed to be garden walk. That's still coming, but we went and got us some more soil.
Yeah.
So as things get a little crazier and crazier around here, we started to get nervous that our nursery might close down and we would have a bunch of beds with no soil in it. Now that I look at it, I think that we still need more.
Yeah.
But we got 4 Bobcat scoops full of amended soil, and so that's like a super soil. And so it's already composted down soil. It's added more compost and it's got mulch in it. So it's what they call amended. It's been sitting. It's a nice little black magic, which you'll get to see it here in a minute. But we are here to fill up the beds.
Yeah, we were gonna start with these new flower beds and then move to the new big one.
Let's get on it.
Do it. Here's the soil. We used my stepdad's trailer and we got 4 scoops, he said. So we're gonna start shoveling it into the wheelbarrows and make 5,000 trips to the beds. We did this last year and I think I was actually wearing the same sweater on the same day.
I was wearing the same hat. Let me do that part.
Yeah, he's showing up so you, but he didn't want to show. He just did it fine. Oh, I like that. Look at this picture. Is that a blanket? How do you do that thing?
Thought I'd talk to y'all while Jen worked for a second. First off, it's a community garden, right, babe? All hands on deck. And once you turn 30 and your back start going out, you got to double team things. No, but a lot of questions on what we get is why do we go get amended soil? Your raised beds, you know, I'll show you any possible way to make cheap raised beds, but don't go cheap on your soil. It can literally make or break your garden that year. And so I know it's a lot sometimes buying this amended soil, but that's why we try not to do ginormous beds. Height-wise, we go to the very bare minimum, which 10 to 12 inches or so. And then also, it's just so rich and it gives you a good foundation. We don't do this, we don't do this for our already established beds. That we just use our compost and put on top to kind of amend it each year. But if you're doing a brand new bed, I highly suggest at least getting you this 6 inches high so it can start working down into whatever you got underneath. So if you want to get some topsoil and amended soil, that's fine. But I would only do about 6 inches of topsoil or less and then fill the top up with this because it's just so rich and so good for your garden, and it just really makes the difference. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's half the reason our gardens do so well is because this is so good. And if you're wanting to get it, I would highly suggest calling your nursery pretty soon because as we have a lot of states that are shutting down, basically, what's it called?
Shelter in place.
Shelter in place. And like Illinois already is, California, New Jersey, a lot of states. And there's going to be more to come. I don't think nurseries are essential places. So they're going to shut down.
They should be.
Yes, they should be. But I don't see them staying open unless they can get around it somehow. But that's why we go buy soil. Yeah, so we took a little break there just to go see how Larry was doing and let y'all check out that log splitter. Gosh, it's sweet. Well, break's over, babe.
I'm dying.
I'm dying. We're getting there, though.
I need Verona like rest.
We are getting there. I'd say we got probably about a scoop and a half left.
I convinced him to let me have a break so I can be on lunch duty and feed everyone. So times like this, we're not going to the store. We have a lot of canned food. We have a lot of frozen food. We've got a very large supply of food. So we're leaving the store food for everyone else who doesn't have a stockpile. So I'm gonna go into my pantry and I think I'm gonna get some of that ham and bean soup that I canned earlier this year and open one up and heat some up for everyone. All right, there we are. Got the cornbread done and the soup done, so we're gonna take it out.
After working in dirt and wood, ham and bean soup with some cornbread and some hot sauce on a nice chilly day hits the spot.
Yep. God, this is delicious.
Uh-oh.
I'm not too good.
Get about
5 minutes.
okay.
Anybody ever fall off a boat in the Bering Sea?
They used to have to.
Okay, it's the next day. We ended up enjoying the fire, spending that last little family time we had before some people that still had to go back to work. We get a lot of family that is in the essential worker category, I guess you would say. So that, unfortunately, they still actually have to go into work. So they're there today. I'm still at home. Jen and the kids were all here, and it's getting a little bit more serious around here, especially on quarantine, but we did get the beds filled. So here is one of the flower beds, and here is the other. Now, I could have used one more scoop of that dirt to really get it exactly where I wanted it for everything. And we are officially a stay-at-home, healthy-at-home, whatever you want to call it, state now. So that like closes everything. However, garden places are still open, but Jen and I are kind of making that judgment call of just trying not to go out at all, no matter what. We basically have everything we need. We're hoping that all we need to get out for will be animal feed, and that's still 2 weeks out. And their call order, they'll have it out. You just put it in your truck, lost all the bags, and call it a day. So we're making the choice to not to, but we had enough dirt to fill these up. So it's beautiful. These are going to be absolutely amazing. The one thing that I'm trying to figure out, and maybe you all can help me here. So Jen is going to be growing blue pea Thai things for tea. It's like a purple tea, and it's a beautiful thing. And it can grow on arches and grow like a very pretty pathway. So this is a little, the gate is 8 foot. And so as you can tell, these are a little bit farther away. And so I put our 16-foot cattle panel up, but it's kind of tight. right? So it's a much wider space for it to spread. So it's not near as high. So give me some of your all's ideas on what you think we can build to build a nice high archway to where it won't have any obstruction for a head to put those on, because these are going to be flowers, and then we'd really love to grow those right over this gate. But we have to drive lawnmowers in here. There might be a possibility that a bobcat comes in here, so we have to have plenty of height to get something through. I'm trying to get creative. Y'all know I love pallets. I've been thinking about that. But I would love to hear your all's ideas down in the comments on what you think that we can grow in there. What you doing, Ray Ray? Nothing. As you can tell, we got a little bit of sunshine, and it is quite enjoyable. So here is the massive, let me get y'all over here, 30-foot raised garden tomato bed. And it is huge, and it is gonna pump so many tomatoes out for us. We are super excited. I just look at all this beautiful soil that's in here and how much veggies it's gonna produce for our family just by having dirt. Isn't that cool to think about? So what we're gonna do is, we're not gonna stake it this round. Since this is a 30-foot bed, we have two 16-foot counter panels, which are over there. If you saw any of our garden last year, that's what we use for our loofah gourds, our Chinese red noodle beans, different stuff like that. So we're gonna go get some more cattle panels, maybe, depending on how this works out. But I've got T-posts and I got the cattle panels. So in this time that we're living in, using what you got is extremely important. So I'm gonna run T-posts right down the middle. I'm gonna hang the cattle panels high, a little bit, not like to the ground of it. I'm gonna hang them high so we can get hopefully 8 foot up for our tomatoes. And then what we'll do is we'll go one over here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and back and forth, and they can grow up the cattle panels. So that's kind of the plan for this bed itself. And a lot of people said, well, that's a little tight. You're gonna wanna be able to get things in there. No, we're doing this on purpose. I'm gonna lay weed tarp down, and you see all of our red mulch that we got. The whole goal is eventually our entire backyard garden will be that red mulch. Just because it's pretty, keeps the grass down, keeps the weeds down. So I'm going to be putting this in here so I won't have to worry about doing a lawnmower and different stuff like that. And it actually left us more room in the area where I will need to get around. So that's why we kind of kept it tight. Shade also. These will not be shading because of our sun going back and forth. Rises right over that one and sets right over here, so we get equal. We did this garden setup fairly on purpose for that. Little luck, but fairly on purpose. But that's the beds. We were able to get, I would give you a solid 10.5 to 11 inches all the way down of soil. So that'll be plenty for tomatoes. It's good enough to go. And where we didn't do that weed tarp down, that lets it have the roots to go any farther. And the one thing about raised bed gardening, if you haven't done it before, when you pull the plants out, they work themselves around everywhere. If you've ever grown a loofah gourd, or if you are this year, you're gonna find that out in a wild and amazing way, because that loofah gourd was in a bed like this, one of our 4 by 12 footers. And seriously, we had 2 plants and the root went all the way around the entire thing twice. It was the longest roots I've ever seen in my life. So you can still grow them in there. You still need it. The roots will find a way. You just don't want to choke out all the other plants. So that is the 2 raised beds that we have, or 3, I guess. And we're extremely excited that the soil is finally in it. Ray found lettuce. I made us some salad for lunch today, and that was one that fell off. So it was a little bit of deja vu, but I'm very happy that the garden has been extended now. That was one of our, hey Wyatt, that was one of our big goals this year, is to, well, and every year, is to always just extend the garden a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now, we had more plans to extend it even further, but unfortunately, due to the life we're in right now, supplies are limited. It's a little bit harder to get things, but I'm happy with where we are. Jen and I already grow basically 100% of our veggies from our garden. So anything extended is extra or more or something different, something to give a little bit different flavor. Sorry, I'm slipping around in mud. So we're very happy with where we are. And then I don't want to downplay the extension of our Ruth Stout potato bed, which we are pumped about. And you can see, I pulled it back a little bit there so you can kind of see what it looks like. we'll be planting the potatoes come about April 1st-ish. So potatoes can handle a little bit of a freeze/frost. But the biggest thing with potatoes is they don't need to be planted in the moisture. That moisture can cause those seed potatoes to rot. So I know it's tempting. I know it's very tempting to get out there, but they're not technically like a winter or fall or cold crop. They are a hot summer crop plant. We're just able to get them out a little bit earlier because they're a root seed, and so they can handle a little bit of frost if they're covered correctly. So you just got to keep that in mind. Like, I know right now we're all stuck in the house and we're like, man, I just want to get things in the ground. Y'all, like in Kentucky, we're not close to our frost date. I know the weather kind of seems like it, but like ours, they're predicting the end of April. We usually don't do anything before May 1st. It gets in the ground. That's going to be a summer crop. So pay attention to your frost dates. Don't get too excited. We made the mistake on our Bonnie's Best last year, putting them out literally 2 weeks too early, and that bed struggled all year. We didn't get a nice, good crop until the end of the year because they were struggling with leaf curl, different aspects from the wind that we had, the rain that we had, because y'all, even if we get warm, we're probably gonna get the rain. So if you put something out there and it drowns, it's gonna struggle to recover. So you just gotta be patient with your garden. Make sure that you're just treating your seedlings right. You're not planting too early. I got to remind myself all the time. Jen calms me down because I'm so ready to get things in the ground. But patience. Everything in this world right now is about patience, and including our garden. So chill, relax, patience with everything that's going on. Try to let it roll off of you. Wait on your potatoes. Wait on your other plants and your starts to take them outside. They're happy in your greenhouse or under your grow lights. Let them be for a little bit longer, even if they're getting big. Just keep up potting. I don't know many that are even past frost date at this moment, besides maybe down in Florida. A little bit more in our 8s and 7s, depending on your zip code, which zones are crazy anyways. You can't trust them for any kind of planting. It's just kind of a general idea. So make sure you're searching your zip code. Check out the Farmer's Almanac. They'll help you get a decent area, especially if you're a new gardener. That's the Farmer's Almanac. You can put in your zip code and they'll tell you your expected last frost date, and it's fairly accurate. Okay, so to learn from this video, what did you get? What did they get out of it, Ray Ray?
Read it.
What?
Read it.
Read it?
No.
Read it?
No, this is what I gave you.
The food that you gave me?
Yeah.
The pork tenderloin?
No, the lettuce.
The letter?
No, the lettuce.
The lettuce. Oh, my bad. Okay, the lettuce. We learned about the lettuce. That's right. So we grew that lettuce last October. It is just now going to seed. Barely. I mean, most of it's all good besides the arugula. So, anyways, you got to see the beds raised. Remember, you can do whatever you can to go cheap on the beds. You might have to replace them, but do not go cheap on your soil. That can change everything for your garden. Fill it with logs, fill it with twigs, fill it with topsoil on the bottom, and make sure you at least give yourself 6 inches of good, fertile soil. Other than that, patience to all of you all, patience to us. Stay patient, love one another, be kind to one another, and stay safe, y'all. We love you.
Love you.
Until the next one.
See you next one.
Bye.
Bye.